What's up, you guys? All right, well, I don't know what to say. This is crazy. I'm sitting up right now $132,000 on the morning. This, right now, today, is the best day of my trading career. Now, gosh, that sounds familiar. I said the same thing yesterday. Yesterday, I made $115,000. It was the first day I had ever made more than 100 grand day trading in one day. And so now today, to break that record only a day later with 132,000, it honestly, it feels like a flashback, because the first time that I had a really big green day, it was like 3 years ago, I made 33,000 in one morning. And it was like best day of my career. The next day I made 40 grand. So I've kind of come to learn as a day trader that usually the big green days are clustered together, as are the red days. In March, February into March, I had 6 consecutive red days in a row, which was really brutal. It wasn't a lot of fun. So that was sort of the very bottom of a cold streak. And at the very top of a hot streak, often we'll have really big green days clustered together. So why is that? It's an absolute reflection of the market and of human nature, of the sort of peaks and valleys of volatility and the emotions of fear and greed. When the market is really hot, both, and we can even just look at the S&P 500. It dropped 35% in March and has now bounced almost all the way back up. It's really close, honestly, to the all-time highs. This is insane. So during the drop, incredible amounts of fear. People were panicking, they were selling, they were getting out. And then all of a sudden that reversed into greed, and now this huge bounce off the low that many people probably have FOMO that they didn't fully capitalize on and are now chasing stocks as they go higher and higher. As an active day trader, our job ultimately is to try to capitalize on these this volatility, on these bounces, and on the emotions that are in the market without falling victim to those emotions like FOMO and panic and fear. And that's a really hard line to sort of be walking each day. And sometimes I fall on the wrong side of it. And those are days where I do end up giving back profit. I do end up buying a stock that's too high, thinking it's going to go higher, and it just flushes down, and all of a sudden like that, it's a big loss. When the market is really hot, the way it's been really now for the last like 6 weeks or even longer, what we start to notice is that, it's kind of tough because this market, a lot of beginner traders honestly will have beginner's luck. Just because the market is so hot, it feels like every other stock that you could potentially be buying goes up. The overall market's been going up, the small cap market's been really strong. And so when you see all these stocks left and right, yesterday a 1,200% mover, today an 800% mover, it sort of traders, I think collectively, at least me, I start to look for the next one, and I'm like, okay, the next one that starts to pop up, I'm going to jump in faster and with more size. And I'm going to keep doing that, getting in sooner and with bigger size until I see any indicator to ease off the throttle and slow down, which we certainly haven't seen yet. And so you multiply that, sort of mentality of trying to capitalize on these big momentum stocks across all the traders out there. And what I think you end up seeing, and what we're seeing now, is more stocks trading with really high pre-market volume, more stocks trading with really high volume in general. DPW, which is the stock I'm up 26,000 on, it's probably going to have over 100 million shares of volume today. It's an incredible amount of volume. If you think back, maybe 7 or 8 months ago, or even a year ago, during a cold streak that we had sort of before that big drop in the market. So the high levels of volume certainly make it easier to get in and out with large share size. It is a reflection of the fact that a lot of traders are not wanting to wait to jump in. They're jumping in sooner and sooner. And eventually this hot period will correct, and we will have a pullback. Things will be slow, and we will have that, that potential cold streak where I have a couple of red days in a row, or where it feels like every other trade is popping up a little bit and then not resolving and not going higher. And that will happen because traders start to get more and more cautious. Traders are going to be aggressive until the first couple stocks that burn them, right? And then you get burned and you're like, okay, I got to ease off the throttle. I don't like taking big losses. And then, collectively people ease off the throttle. You see less follow through. You see more false breakouts, more choppiness. And that's the beginning of a cold streak. And that'll last usually until you have that first stock that rips up and goes crazy. And what happens? We all miss it. Almost everyone misses it, because how would you know that that was going to go crazy when the last couple of weeks everything's been slow? And so then the next one we get really aggressive on because we've got that FOMO. And again, trying to capitalize on it without falling victim to it, but expecting, okay, we just had a stock go up 300%. You know, now let's look for something that's similar. Sometimes it'll be in a similar sector. It'll be a similar, like we've had shipping stocks. We've had obviously the Ebola virus stocks. We've had the COVID stocks. We've had police body camera stocks. We've had shipping stocks. Did I already say that? We've had Chinese stocks. I mean, we've had all of these sort of different little subsectors that get hot. And so, you know, the next one that you see that's in that same subsector or is similar in some of its technical characteristics, you know, you look out, because traders are going to jump on it. And that's exactly what happens. So in some ways it was a little predictable that today could be a really big green day. And I wanted in the morning to come in and be a little careful, just because I knew that after having such a big green day, sometimes can get a little sloppy because I feel like I've got a really big cushion. And I actually did have, I made my way into the green today up 130,000, and then I lost 15,000 trying to do a dip trade. I was early and it flushed about $5 a share, and I took a loss on it. I then got back in. So rather than hold to the bottom of the dip, I sold, it dipped more, I got back in, and when it popped back up, I made back what I lost and got myself back up to 132. What I want to do for you guys today is give you a chance to sort of watch over my shoulder from the trades from this morning. So I wasn't doing the live broadcast on YouTube. I did the watch list and then I shut off the feed and was just streaming to our students. So I have the live trading recordings from today starting at about 9:30, right when the bell rang. What I want to do for you guys is I'm going to replay it and I'm going to give you my commentary. Rather than do just a 3-hour-long video, I'm going to speed it up, and the sections where I wasn't trading, I'll just speed through those. So I'll give you the live trading commentary. When I started to make money, when I started to build my cushion, when I started to have some losses, and really show you very specifically, you know, on my order entry and everything else, how I was getting in, where I was getting in, what I saw on the level 2 or on the chart that made me pull the trigger where I pulled it, or sold half or took profit where I got out. You'll see some pretty big winners. You'll also see a couple of pretty big losers. The biggest loss that I've had now probably in the last 8 or 9 weeks was today on that dip trade. So it definitely burned me, and I'm looking forward to kind of going back and rewatching it to see if I can figure out where I might have gone wrong there. So you guys are welcome to come along with me while we do this live trading commentary. I'm going to put a link right down below that you can click on, and then you can watch the live trades from today. Now, for every 5,000 thumbs up that this video gets, so hit that thumbs up button, hit subscribe if you haven't already, I will schedule out a day where I do a live stream right on YouTube of me actually trading. Usually, of course, I just do my watch list and then I trade to our room. But I will schedule out a few over the next few weeks and even months down in the future. So make sure you hit that thumbs up button, and I will announce during the watch list pre-market whether, you know, when those free streams are going to be. I'm going to do it based on, you know, when we have a day that it seems like the market's going to be hot and there's something that's interesting for you guys. I won't just do it if there's nothing happening. But anyway, so hit that thumbs up button, hit subscribe, and check out that link right down below to watch the live trading commentary from today. And what we're going to do now is get into a quick recap where I'll just sort of recap in summary the stocks I traded today and the P&L on each one. And then I'll see you guys back here first thing tomorrow morning. All right, thanks for tuning in. I'll see you guys in the morning. Enjoy the recap. All right, everyone. Well, here we are. We're going to do a quick recap of today's trades, live trading commentary. There'll be a link down below in the description for you guys to check that out. I will also upload it to Live Trading Archives for Warrior Pro students. These are the 5 stocks that I traded today. JFIN, $101,000. DPW, $26,000. AVCT, $3,200. IMRN, the stock I traded yesterday, $870, and CRIS, $341. And to be honest, JFIN
is tempting because it is still holding above the volume weighted average price. As it curled up here, you can see volume picked back up a little bit more. So this technically right through here is a micro pullback with a high of 27. And the spot that I've got in the back of my mind is, $30. Is it going to break that $30 spot? I mean, I don't know if it will or not, but it feels it feels so tempting, just the possibility that maybe it will. So this was obviously the biggest winner today, and similar to yesterday, the move started pre-market. It was gapping up, as you can see, 257%. DPW is now over 100 million shares of volume. It was gapping up 232%. So these were the two that I was the most aggressive on, which was definitely the right move. And I actually made the majority of my profit on DPW. And JFIN, I made my profit right through here as it broke over 14. This break of the VWAP right here is where I made the majority of my profit on this stock. Look at this thing. It went from $14 to $30. That's crazy. That's 100% move and a big range. It's not like from $1 to $2. It's from 14 to 32. I mean, or 30. It's really insane. This consolidation right here, again, the spot that I kind of would be watching. If I was going to be aggressive here, I would probably be saying the long would be over 27. But honestly, at this point, dip trades have been a lot easier than breakout trades, because back up here, we can see that it actually hit a high of 29.61, then dropped all the way down to 19.88. Right there, I bought that dip at 19.88, or right around 20, and it popped right back up to a high of $30. It then flushed down here, and this is where I took my first dip trade, on this dip, and I actually lost about 15,000 right in here. I was buying thinking it was going to actually bounce off the 9 moving average right here. It then flushed down here. I stopped out. I lost like $3 or $4 a share, and then I added back right at $20.40, and I was actually holding 4,000 shares into a halt going down. It resumed high. I added, and it popped from 20 right here up to $26.50. So that was a little bit of a stressful trade there. That was when I went from 129,000 or whatever it was to up 114,000, and then made it back. So, and look at that. That's the type of drop right there from 26 to 23. That's a 3-point drop. That's the stuff that can really, it can shake you out. And so if you're buying for breakouts and then you get caught in a flush like that, it can be really bad. The safest entry ultimately is going to be close to the volume weighted average price, which is at 21.30. And that was where I actually had 2 of my best entries. But when I tried to do a dip trade up here, I was too early, lost on it. And in this area here, I would say, it's about 10 of 1 right now, and it's still holding up really well. It's up 687%. It's got 22 million shares of volume, and it's above the VWAP. So there's a part of me that feels like I really don't want to miss this if it breaks 27, rips to 30, and squeezes up to $35 or $40. Because yesterday, I missed the breakout on IMRN. I missed that afternoon breakout right here as it broke 20 and squeezed up to 28. So, as I look at this, I get fear of missing out. I get FOMO. I get afraid that I'm going to miss that. And then, the fact is, my biggest green days are always clustered together. The biggest green day of my career was a $33,000 day. It was a Wednesday. I think it was in 2017. The very next day, I made 40 grand. In 2 days, $70,000. It was the best 2-day little hot streak I'd ever had. Then in 2018 or 19, I had a $26,000 day. The very next day, another $26,000. Back to back, $56,000 or whatever it was. Right here, 115 yesterday, 132 today. So when the market's hot, I really don't want to ease off the throttle. I want to try to capitalize on it as much as possible, knowing that when this window closes, I'm going to have to be content with days where I might only make, $1,000 a day. And that's a kind of funny thing that, doing the same exact thing, essentially, you get different results. And that's based on the ups and downs of the market. In a really hot market, trading breakouts, you can get 15, 20, 30% breakouts from your entry. In a cold market, that same exact trade might only pop up 5 cents and then false breakout and flush. So, it's I suppose it's not different from from fishing or something like that. You have days where you go out, you use the same bait, you cast the same line, and you catch fish. And other days you go out and it's dead. And some of that is a little seasonal. Some of it is a little cyclical. Some spots are hot spots and they kind of dry up and things sort of shift in the market. So right now, I have been capitalizing on the opportunity that's been in front of me better than I ever have in my career. And that has been the direct result of some of the changes in my trading strategy that I implemented after the 35% drop in March. So that big drop in the market, while it certainly cost me money in my long-term account, my 401k and everything else, I walked away from that with a new skill. And that new skill of, number one, being able to trade a little bit without looking at my profit. So when I'm actually trading, the only thing I'm looking at is right here. I'm looking at the average price that I got in at and how many shares I'm holding. So I'm not looking at that number. I'm not fixating on it. I'm really trading the stock, and I'm trying to be as aggressive as I can and make as much as I can. And so it's kind of almost like gamified trading a little bit, because I'm becoming more detached from the direct profit and losses that happen. And I'm able to just focus on really good quality setups and be so in the zone of the level 2 that I'm not getting distracted, because when I am staring at this number, that becomes a distraction. I'm chasing a number. And so really I'm focusing totally on the level 2 and on the chart. And for those who have been watching the last couple of days, I've been really like hyper focused in the zone. And so part of that came out of what I learned through some struggles during the 35% market drop, being more willing to buy into weakness, when usually I was very hesitant to do that, to buy weakness. I was too concerned that it would just go lower. The sort of confidence that I can buy dips and that many of them actually work out really well has been a big eye-opener. Now, today, again, I did have the biggest loss that I've had in probably 6 or 8 weeks when I bought this dip right here. So in the live trading, I will go over that trade. That was around 11:30. And so let's see, let me just look at it here for a second. So on that trade, I first bought it at $26. I then added it 27. That was at 11. Sorry, that was at 11. No. So let me go back to 11:30. So it's a little closer to 11:28 or 11:30. So yeah, so my first dip was at like 28.74 down in this area, probably off this level right here. Tried to take a bounce up higher. That was around 19. Then it flushed right here, and this was at 25. So at 11.25 it dropped, and I got long at 25.19 and 25.70. So buying what I thought was going to be the bounce off the 9 moving average on the 5-minute. I sold some at 25.85 and then sold the rest. It actually dropped lower, and I added at 23.67. So almost $1 a share lower, I added more. And then I added more at 22.86. And then I finally cut the loss at $20.80. So with that, I was in 5,000 shares with an average price of about $23.50. And so I lost almost $3 a share on that. That's $15,000, which is not nothing. Now, it was then looking like it was going to halt going down. I was in 5,000 shares with the average of 23 up here. So I cut the loss at $20.80. It then drops to 2024, and I added 4,000 shares right here, and then I was holding into a halt going down. It resumed, and I added at $24.40 on resumption, and it bounced from, $20.40, and it bounced from $20.40 all the way in this candle up to 20, the high was 24. So just like that on 6,000 shares, let's see, I was in 6,500 shares, I was up $3 a share. That's 18,000. And just like that, I was back near the top. So, I took profit out as it was coming back up, but in hindsight, I could have held, but if I had held the full 5,000 shares, I don't think I would have been comfortable adding more down there. I just don't think I would have been comfortable with that because, the fact is, I then would have been potentially long 10,000 shares down already like $17,000. And so I cut it at 15. So down here at the halt going down, I would have been down probably 16, 17, almost 18. And then what if, God forbid, I added 10,000, I got myself to 10,000 shares, down 17,000. And what if it did open lower at 17? I could have given back like 40, 50,000. So it sucks that I gave back 15 and it was more than I planned on, but I cut the loss and then got back in. All right. So cut the loss, got back in, and then we had that bounce there. Now it's consolidating in this area. It does still look interesting if it can break over the highs, but as you can see, it's got a little bit of resistance in this area. So back over 27 is the spot I'd want to see. DPW, this one, really some impressive action here. The red to green move. This is where I made my money. Red to green right here, and I jumped into this 15,000 shares. Long over 5, it rips up all the way to 6, does a micro pullback here. I add, it pops up to a high of 640. Fantastic move, really clean. AVCT, this one was a little trickier for me. I found that it was kind of choppy, but I did have a couple of nice trades on it. You can see how it popped up right here. It popped up, pulled back, and then came back up, dropped back down. And IMRN, it popped right out of the gates. And I did not get in it on that pop, but I did a dip trade on it. So from 13 to 16. This is some insane volatility. It's really crazy. And CRIS was a little bit of a smaller one. So let's see. We also had some big moves on JRJC, which I didn't trade. It's up 100% right now. So you can see here, this went from 550 to 10. Wins, another one like yesterday that made a crazy move, insane, from 8 all the way up to 64, but on extremely light volume. Yesterday we had LTRPB. I didn't trade either of these. I traded this one in the simulator, but I went short into the first halt going down, and that was a nice win. Duo yesterday was also halted. I also went short in the simulator at about $115. And it dropped, and I covered it after hours at $50. But I don't know that people would have had shares to trade it with real money. I was more doing it sort of as just a little demo for students in the class. So right now, JFIN has 22 million shares of volume. DPW has 100 million shares of volume. AVCT has 25. IMRN has 3.6, and CRIS has 132, which is crazy. So good job for those of you guys that walked away with some profit today. Tomorrow, I'll be back at it, and I don't even know what to expect. A third day of crazy momentum. These might be the three biggest, right now, the two biggest days of my entire career. That's a fact right now. But this might be my high watermark. I might never get back to this. This might be like the 1992 Chicago Bulls, and this is the height, and it's all downhill from here. I don't know. Maybe I should throw in the towel. I don't know. But I'll just take it one day at a time. It literally took me from the day I made 33,000 and then 40,000. I think that was 2017. And I didn't break that $40,000 green day until just last month in May. So it took almost 3 years before we had a market that was so hot that I was able to break that number again. And I had a $44,000 day, and then I had a day I was up 48, but then closed up only 41. I gave back a little profit. And today, initially, I was up on DPW and JFIN like 10, 11,000, then started just increasing my risk a little bit. Then I was up 20, 25, 30, 40, and I was like, all right, let's try to break 50. I check when I'm trading. I do take a peek, but I don't stare at the number while I'm in a trade. So after I finish a trade, I'll be like, okay, all right, nice, good job. Okay, now it's back to focus. So I check in just to see, did I give back a lot of profit? How bad was it? Et cetera, et cetera. But this right now is, obviously the best month of my career. I was already up $100,000 in the month of June as of Monday. So as of Monday, I was up I think it was actually $125,000. Let me just pull, let's see. So I haven't imported my trades from yesterday yet. I will do it later. So this was as of Monday, 125 gross profit. So after yesterday, it went from 125 to 225, 230, 240. So now after today, it's at 340, $370,000 on the month. That's a record. On the year, add the 250 to this, that's 250, so 600, 700, almost $800,000 on the year. So I know it's kind of hard for me to set any goals right now of like what I want to set as my annual goal. I'm just, if we had 2 more months like this, I'd be over $1 million without question. But I don't expect that I'm going to keep hitting $100,000 a month. What I'm expecting is that this hot streak will slow down. And I feel like one of these chipmunks that's outside, foraging for, acorns and things like that, trying to prepare for winter. And, they don't know it's June. Guys, you still got like 6 months. And I might still have 3 or 4 weeks or 3 or 4 months of this hot streak, or it might end tomorrow. And I don't know. So I'm just going to continue to be as aggressive as I can. And I'm going to try to capitalize on this opportunity as much as I can. And if I do have a day where I get flushed and, get a big loss and go red, then I'm going to have to ease off the throttle at that point. But right now, there's no sign that that's going to happen. The market is hot. And traders, I think collectively, we're seeing so much volume in the market in small caps. Even, Jim Cramer was talking about Robinhood traders and, so many traders out there that are millennials or new traders, new people in the market. And, so I think that there's this high level of volume that we're seeing right now is probably a direct response to the higher unemployment rate and more people that are participating in the market. And so essentially, that does mean if you've got a lot more people trading, that's more people pressing the buy button. That's more volume. That's potentially a stock going up even more. But then they can also come down just as much, so that those ebb and flows and those ups and downs, they can be pretty volatile. So just manage your risk. And I had one today where I let it get away from me. It's going to screw up my profit loss ratio, but it's okay. I'll be all right. So anyways, that's it for me. I'm going to put a link right down below in the description for you guys to check out the live trading commentary. I'm going to upload it to Live Trading Archives after I finish it. I'm going to do that after class. But right now, we're going to switch over for Warrior Pro students, and we're going to start summer school. We keep starting a little late, but that's okay. We've got the whole summer to teach summer school. So we're going to jump into the classroom right now and start summer school classes, which will be resuming where we left off yesterday. So we're going to pick back up with chapter 3 of the Warrior Pro class. So let's see, where is this? This is chapter 4, which we will also probably get to. We'll probably do chapter 3 and chapter 4 today. All right, so this is the Warrior Small Cap Day Trading course, which is part of the Warrior Pro curriculum, sitting at about 1,000 slides right now, and this is our this is the class. This is the curriculum. So 15 chapters. All right, guys, so let's get back into it, and I will see you guys in the classroom in just a minute. Everyone else, I'll see you guys in the morning. And yes, today in the retirement account. So yesterday, I make some money, save some money. Yesterday, I made some money that I can spend. I have to pay tax on it, but I made some money I can spend. Today, I made some money that I can save. So save some, spend some. If you could do 50-50, that's actually pretty amazing. If you can actually save 50%, you're doing really well if you can do that. So actually today I'm saving more than I made yesterday, which is good. Okay, you guys, so let's jump into the Warrior Pro Classroom, and everyone on Facebook, YouTube, make sure you hit that thumbs up button and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you first thing tomorrow morning for the watch list. Oh, hey, I didn't see you there. Help us hit 750,000 subscribers by hitting that subscribe button, and stay tuned and check out some of my other awesome uploads right here on YouTube.